Meet Sarah. She's 32 years old. She's a registered nurse in Dallas, Texas. She makes decent money, about $72,000 a year. But she is exhausted. 12-hour shifts, weekend rotations, holidays away from her family. And one night, scrolling through her phone at 1 a.m. after a brutal shift, she stumbles across a concept that stops her cold. Dividend investing. People talking about money that just lands in your account every single month, without you working for it, without you doing anything at all. And Sarah has one question. One specific question that is probably the same question you have right now. How much do I actually need invested to live off dividends? What is the real number? Because everybody online says something different. Some say $1 million. Some say $3 million. Some say you can do it with $500,000. So which one is it? Today, we're going to answer that question completely, with real math, real numbers, and a real plan. Before the numbers, let's make sure we're all on the same page about what a dividend actually is, because a lot of people throw this word around without really explaining it simply. When a company makes a profit, it has two choices. It can reinvest that profit back into growing the business, or it can share some of it with the people who own shares of the company. Those people are called shareholders, and that share of the profits, that's a dividend. It hits your account usually every single quarter, sometimes monthly. Like a paycheck. Except nobody asked you to show up anywhere. Now here's the number that's going to matter for everything we talk about today. The dividend yield. This is how much income your investment generates as a percentage of what you put in. The S&P 500 right now in 2026, its dividend yield is only about 1.17%. That's low, but focused dividend ETFs, funds specifically built around dividend-paying companies, yield between 3 and 9%. The yield number is everything, and in a minute you'll see exactly why. Here is the only equation you need to answer Sarah's question. The only one. Write this down, screenshot it, tattoo it somewhere if you have to. Annual expenses divided by portfolio yield equals the portfolio you need. That's it. Annual expenses divided by portfolio yield. If Sarah needs $60,000 a year to live, that's $5,000 a month, and she builds a portfolio that yields 4% per year, she needs $1,500,000 invested. $60,000 divided by 4% equals $1.5 million. If she can get by on $36,000 a year, $3,000 a month, she only needs $900,000. If she wants $80,000 a year, $2 million. The yield and the expenses are the two levers. Change either one and the number changes dramatically. Now let's run all three levels so you can find where you actually fit level 1. $3,000 a month. $36,000 a year. This is a simple life. Covered bills, groceries, a modest apartment, not luxurious, but completely free from having to work. At a 4% portfolio yield, you need $900,000 invested. At a 5% yield, $720,000. $900,000 sounds like a lot, but remember, this number never gets spent. It stays invested. It keeps generating income forever. Your principal is completely untouched. Level 2, $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year. This is Sarah's target. A comfortable life. Covers rent, car, food, healthcare, some travel, a reasonable middle-class American lifestyle, without working for it. At 4% yield, she needs $1,500,000. At 5%, $1,200,000. $1.5 million is Sarah's number. Not $1 million, not $3 million, $1.5 million at 4% yield. And we'll talk about how she gets there in a few minutes. Level 3, $8,000 a month, $96,000 a year. This is a genuinely comfortable upper middle class lifestyle. Nice apartment, regular travel, no financial stress whatsoever. At 4% yield, you need $2,400,000. At 5%, $1,920,000. Here's the key insight across all three levels. You need roughly 25 times your annual expenses invested. At a 4% yield, that's the golden ratio of dividend investing. Figure out what you spend in a year. Multiply it by 25. That's your freedom number. Now let's answer the question every single person types into YouTube. What does $1 million in dividends actually pay you? Here's the honest answer. And it depends entirely on where you put that million. If you put $1 million in a regular S&P 500 index fund like SPY, which yields about 1.17% right now, you get $11,700 a year. That's $975 a month. You cannot live on that. Not in America in 2026. If you put that same million in SCHD, Schwab's dividend-focused ETF, which yields about 3.5%, you get $35,000 a year, about $2,900 a month. Closer, but still not enough for most people to fully live on. If you put it in JEPI, JP Morgan's Equity Premium Income ETF, which currently yields between 7 and 9%, you get $70,000 to $90,000 a year, $5,800 to $7,500 a month. Now that is livable. But, and this is critical, JEPI's higher yield comes with higher complexity and more variable payments. It's not a set-it-and-forget-it fund. The sweet spot that most dividend experts recommend, a balanced portfolio hitting 3.5% to 4.5% yield. At that level, $1 million generates $35,000 to $45,000 per year, about $3,000 to $3,750 a month. Enough for a frugal to moderate lifestyle, especially when combined with Social Security later. So which specific funds does Sarah, and should you, actually use? Here are the 3 most important dividend ETFs in 2026. Number 1, SCHD, the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, yield around 3.5%. This is the gold standard for dividend growth investors. It focuses on companies with strong fundamentals and consistent dividend growth. Lower yield than some options, but the dividends grow 5 to 7% per year. That growth rate is your built-in inflation protection. Number 2, JEPI, JP Morgan Equity Premium Income ETF, yield around 7 to 9%. High income right now. But the distributions can vary month to month. Better for people who are already retired and need maximum current income. More volatile dividends. Not ideal for the building phase. Number 3, VYM Vanguard. High dividend yield, TTF, yield around 3%. Over 400 companies. Massive diversification, very stable. Slightly lower yield than SCHD, but with broader exposure. Great as a core holding. The general rule, don't chase yields above 6 to 7%. Extremely high yields, above that range, often signal that a company is in financial trouble or paying out more than it earns. That dividend will be cut, and when it gets cut, your income drops and your share price usually drops at the same time. Double pain. Stick to 3.5% to 5% for a sustainable lifetime income portfolio. Here's one of the most powerful concepts in all of dividend investing. Dividend aristocrats. These are companies that have raised their dividend every single year for at least 25 consecutive years. Not just maintained it, raised it every year for a quarter century or more. Think about what that means. These companies raised their dividends during the 2008 financial crisis, during the 2020 COVID crash, during 2022's brutal rate hike environment. Every single year, the dividend check kept growing. Companies like Procter & Gamble, your shampoo and detergent company, Johnson & Johnson, Home Depot, AbbVie, these businesses just keep printing dividend increases. And here's what dividend growth does for you over time. If your dividend income grows 5 to 7% per year, which is roughly what a good dividend aristocrat portfolio does, your income outpaces inflation. Every year your purchasing power gets stronger, not weaker. Sarah puts a significant chunk of her portfolio in dividend aristocrats. They're the bedrock, not the most exciting investments. But when you're depending on this income to pay your rent, boring is exactly what you want. Here's the strategy that protects Sarah's dividend income even when the market gets rough. It's called the 3-bucket strategy. Bucket 1, the cash bucket, 6 to 12 months of living expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account. This is your shock absorber. If the market drops and some dividends get cut, you live off this cash while the portfolio recovers. You never have to sell anything at the wrong time. Bucket 2, the income bucket. This is 60 to 70% of Sarah's portfolio. High-yield dividend stocks and ETFs, SCHD, JEPI, VYM, dividend aristocrats. This is the engine that generates the monthly income she's going to live on. The goal of this bucket is consistent, growing cash flow. Bucket 3, the growth bucket. 30 to 40% of the portfolio. Dividend growth stocks, companies like Visa, Microsoft, Apple, that pay a small dividend today, but grow it fast. VIG or DGRO are good ETF options here. This bucket grows faster, and the dividends from it will eventually flow into the income bucket as Sarah ages. The three buckets work together as a system. Cash protects short-term. Income pays the bills. Growth ensures the income keeps growing faster than inflation. This is how you live off dividends forever, not just for 10 years. 4 mistakes that kill dividend strategies. And I want you to avoid every single one. Mistake 1, chasing high yields. A 10% yield sounds amazing, until the company cuts it in half and your share price drops 30% on the same day. High yields above 6 to 7% are a red flag. Not a reward. The market is pricing in risk that you're not seeing on the surface. Mistake 2, not diversifying. Owning 5 high-yield stocks is not a retirement plan. You need 20 to 30 plus positions across multiple sectors. If one company cuts its dividend, it should affect only 3 to 5% of your total income, not 30%. Mistake 3, ignoring taxes. REIT, dividends in a taxable account can lose 30% or more to taxes. The solution: hold your highest yield, most taxed positions inside a Roth IRA. A $500,000 Roth position yielding 4% generates $20,000 a year in completely tax-free income. That's huge. Structure your accounts correctly. Mistake 4, forgetting inflation. If you need $60,000 a year today, you will need $80,000 in 10 years at 3% inflation. A static dividend portfolio that never grows its payout will fall short over time. This is why dividend growth matters just as much as dividend yield. Build in growth. Protect your purchasing power. So what does Sarah actually do? She's starting from almost zero. Here's her plan, and it can be your plan too. Step 1. Open a Roth IRA on Fidelity or Schwab. Start with whatever she has, even $200. Step 2. Set up automatic investing, $500 a month, split between SCHD and a broad market fund. Turn on DRIP, dividend reinvestment. Every dividend she earns automatically buys more shares. More shares generate more dividends. It compounds. At $500 a month with 8% average portfolio growth, in 20 years, Sarah has $294,000. At 4% yield, that generates $11,700 a year in dividends. Not enough to fully live on yet, but it's a foundation. Step 3. Increase contributions as income grows. When Sarah gets a raise, she routes half of it to her dividend portfolio. By year 25, her portfolio is on track to hit the $1.5 million she needs. And here's her secret weapon: Social Security. The average Social Security benefit is about $22,000 a year. If Sarah gets $22,000 from Social Security at 67, she only needs $38,000 from dividends. At 4% yield, that's just $950,000 needed instead of $1.5 million. That's a much more achievable target. So what did Sarah decide? She's still working right now, still a nurse. But she has a plan for the first time in her life. She opened her Roth IRA. She's investing $500 a month in SCHD and VYM. She has her 3 buckets mapped out. She knows her number, $1.5 million, and she knows her timeline, roughly 22 to 25 years at her current savings rate. She's not quitting tomorrow, but she's no longer wondering if it's possible. She knows exactly what she needs. And so do you. Pause and screenshot this. Your dividend freedom formula. Annual expenses divided by 0.04 equals your portfolio target. Multiply your monthly expenses by 300. That's your number. That's what you're building toward. And here's your starting action for this week. Open a Roth IRA on Fidelity or Schwab. Search for SCHD. Set up automatic investing with whatever you can, even $50. Turn on dividend reinvestment and let time do the rest. How much dividend income are you generating per month right now? Drop your number in the comments, even if it's zero, especially if it's zero. That's where everyone starts. If this video helped you figure out your number, share it with someone who's been wondering the same thing. Subscribe for weekly videos exactly like this. Real math, real stories, built for everyday Americans. See you next week.